Black palm.
That's what I used to get.
If I remember correctly, there's some. I believe that's who started. Isn't that who started World War I? Wasn't it the Black Palm? The organization of anarchists that started World War I. They were Serbian, and they were all mad at the king of or the Archduke of Austro-Hungarian Empire. And so, you guys have heard the story, right? They told it to you. How World War I started. So, yeah, so this happened in a city called Sarajevo, and so what happened was, it's the classic misfit of like idiots on both sides, and it literally started World War I, like no joke. It's not the, it's the thing that started it. It's not the reason of it. The reason is because you had all these alliances and allegiances of nation states, right? You know, France said, well, if England's ever attacked, we'll come to your defense, and Russia said, if this country's ever attacked, we'll come to your defense. So you had all these allegiances. So you had a bunch of anarchists. I want to say it was the Black Palm that was the name of the organization. Ask Mr. Brubaker. But anyway, what happened was that the anarchists decided that they had enough of the Austro-Hungarian Empire and they wanted to send a message. And so they were like, we're going to kill this Archduke Ferdinand, right? And so what happened was they knew, because it was published, they knew that he was going to be coming to the town of Sarajevo, which is is in modern day Yugoslavia, doesn't exist anymore, but in Bosnia. Well, anyway, so he was a royalty, so he rides around in an open carriage. But everyone did back then anyway, if you're a royalty. But the people would line the streets as the Archduke was coming down. They already knew that he might be coming under attack, and so all the security people would say, "Hey, let's not do this." It was like, "Don't worry about it. We're going to do it anyway." So all the anarchist people, I forget how many people. There was more than one, but they all go to a bar, right? And they get not rip-roaring inebriated, but they're inebriated. I mean, like they're literally inebriated. So they're planned drunk. Right? So their plan is to throw bombs, right, and then shoot into his carriage. So what happens is that the Archduke, he leaves wherever he was to go to his final location, or one of his locations. So he goes down this parade route. And so all the people pour out of the bar, and they're like, let's go get the guy. And they see him, and I don't know the full story. I'm probably screwing part of it up. But they throw a bomb, and it doesn't go into the carriage.
They missed him and it hit on the carriage.
Something like that, right? So boom. So mistake number 4, 5, or 6 was Archduke. No, well, that's why they didn't kill him the first. They would have killed him if they weren't. My assumption, if they weren't drunk. And if they had a better plan, they probably would have gotten the first time because he was in an open carriage, easy target.
The assassin
right?
was drunk when they did this?
Yes, right. So the bomb goes off. Archduke, I don't know if they hurried up, but they got away. They go to their location, and then at the end of the day, they got to go back the same direction. They go back to where I guess he's living or sleeping or whatever. So instead of saying, well, that's a stupid thing, you just had an assassination attempt, let's not do this, or let's have more security, the idiot goes back the same way. And so all these, the sad drunk people who were like, we missed our opportunity to kill him, like, wait, he's coming back!
What the heck, he's come back for more!
And then they finally
He
get
doesn't
him.
even have any backup.
Idiots.
And that is literally, now remember, that's not the cause of World War I, but that's literally, so Archduke gets assassinated. And then their alliance with another country caused them to say, well, we're mad at you, this country. And so they declare war on each other. And then because they declared war on this country, the other country to say, well, if anybody declares war on you, we'll declare war on the other person. It was just like dominoes falling down. And that's, make sure you get it from a real history teacher, not me, but that was World War I. By the way, World War I also happened during the time of the Spanish flu. And the Spanish flu killed more people than World War I killed.
Even though World War I killed over
I don't know the numbers right off the top of my head, but remember, the Spanish flu killed tens of millions of people.
the Spanish flu I think overall like 22 million died in World War I.
I don't know the exact number.
One
World
question
War
said
War
we're
II had
on
more deaths, but World War I was still pretty bloody.
Wait, no, we're not. Yes, we're on 7.
All right, you guys filled out the whatever it was this morning, right? What were the questions they asked you? Because we didn't do it for ninth grade. Like, what was one of the questions?
Name, address.
Oh, is that
phone
okay? We didn't
number.
have to fill that stuff out.
I don't know.
All right. We were just curious in ninth grade. What was the personal information they were asking? What were the questions like? Are you going to college or anything like that?
No,
That's what major.
What your major? Okay, no, I thought it had questions like that. Okay.
We didn't finish that part. We,
How far did you get? It was on the second page.
Dude, we weren't supposed to do
No,
well.
we weren't supposed to do that.
Okay, just you guys.
You made a mistake?
No, because I was in a different.
yeah, they split us
We
up.
didn't
Oh.
do
They
that.
signed their consent form like a bunch of.
Oh, so the ones that wanted to give information. Okay, now it makes sense. Okay. Remember, this is the resource card that they give you. I forget if it was this class or the other. I think it was the other class where we did one where we actually used one of these shapes to get to an answer. Maybe we'll see it today as well too. But for the most part, it's somewhat of a useless thing. One, because, well, it gives you stuff you probably already know, area of a triangle. Well, by the time you get to be you're going to be using special right triangles all the time, right? But if you do forget, they're sitting right there. It has a couple words. When you get your actual SAT next year, you're going to learn next year about these things called radians. It's another way of measuring degrees. And so you could have some questions in radians or degrees. And that's why we always say, make sure your calculator, you're doing it in radians or you're doing it in degrees. What's up? Said, what's up?
We missed that. Come back,
What's
Seth.
up?
Today we confused Matt with Seth.
I know you did. And I'm ignoring you for right now.
I'll just do it.
Okay, so we have, I forget, on Fridays, when is this class over? What's that again? 54? Okay, so we got, I don't know, 30 minutes, right? And we can do as much of this, not we're little, but I'm saying we can do as much of this, but I don't want to waste time and like you're not into this, right? It's not worth it if you're not paying attention. So make sure we do some good work. All right, so we're gonna go around the room, starting with Connor. You can pick anything. Monday when we come back, remember we do have school on Monday. I made a promise to the test person, Miss Lovato, that the 10th graders are smarter than the 9th graders. And you're going to bring this. I'm not going to see you until Wednesday. Well, I'm not going to see you at all, actually, right? I will not see you. I'm not the person giving you the test. You have to show up with a graphing calculator. Like it isn't an optional. You have to show up with a graphing calculator. Don't screw this up. Make sure you show up. If you have one of these and you haven't changed the batteries in a while, I would absolutely make sure you change your batteries so that there's no possibility, oh, my battery's died, type thing. If you have one of those rechargeable, make sure you recharge it. Okay. We're going to start off with Connor. You can pick any question on the packet. We saw this yesterday. We saw that some questions that look really impossible end up being the easy ones. And some of the ones that are easy end up being the impossible ones. You're not going to know until you read the question and try it. Go ahead, Connor. 13 on which one section? 3 or 4? On 13 on number 3. 13 on number 3. All right, a lot of words there. No pictures, just words. All right, give it a shot, give it a read. In box,
Page 30.
you'll see it on the top. It says 3, right? And then find number 13.
Mine's different.
Am I on the wrong page? I might have pulled up the wrong one.
Yeah.
I could have the 8, 9 one here instead of the, which one do I have? Oh, yeah, that's the wrong one. Sorry.
It was.
Me.
Where are you? Three.
So where are we?
There we go. Hey, I said we're going to be useful in our time.
I am being useful.
In the XY plane, fancy words for on a graph. right? We haven't done X, Y, Z yet. You will next year.
Okay.
In the XY plane, if a parabola, remember parabola is our smiley face, frowny face. With this equation, where A, B, and C are constants, if the parabola goes through 1 or -1, 1. So you're already told that parabola goes through -1, 1. I don't know anything about it other than it goes through -1, +1. So I know that there's either a smiley face or a frowny face that goes through that point. Okay. Which of the following must be true? Which of the following must be true? It sounds like an impossible thing. It's a smiley face or a frowny face. Okay. We have, but nothing this. It looks like it's a very challenging one. So here's the deal. Remember, this represents some point on the line. In other words, that represents a solution. A solution. What does it mean when you're a solution? Like literally, what does it mean? Okay. What does it mean to the equation if you are a solution?
-1 is X and 1 is Y.
So in other words, it makes that equation true. So what they're really asking you to do is to put those values into the equation. It makes it true. So let's see. Remember, it goes X comma Y. So we put X comma Y into this. Let's see what happens. Read me. What does it say first? I'm going to erase the graph because the graph isn't important now. 1 equals
A
times
-1
what?
-1 squared
Well, it's -1 squared. So you're left with A. Keep going.
plus B times -1.
So that would be minus B. Keep going.
Plus C.
She's already telling me the answer. Notice all of these have what where? All of these answers have,
1 is the answer.
so I just wrote it backwards for what they have it, but which one looks like this? A is positive, B is negative, C is positive. We're going to go back to the thing I stated at the very start. Some of the equations look hard. This was ridiculously easy. Ridiculously easy. Other than the fact you had to know that -1 squared is +1, right? This is another one of those ones. So this is a I think it's a medium one. This is another one of those ones where they write a question, much higher level, right, in complexity. But in the reality, if you know what you're doing, it's really easy. By the way, when you know what you're doing, this is less than a minute. This is about a 30-second question. It took longer for me to read it and say, what do they want me to do, than to actually get to an answer. No, it's not because I'm the math teacher. I'm just saying I still have to read these questions well too. I haven't done any prep on these. I'm trying to take these as you are taking them. Okay. Go back to what I said yesterday. When you're taking the test, you're going to read it at least twice. Now, some of you might have given up on that one. Okay. But I'm saying for those of you that tried it, you would have immediately found out that, oh, look how it's pretty darn easy. But if the ones you say that I don't know what I'm doing, right? And it doesn't matter. If you didn't know what you're doing, you wouldn't have come up with the fact, hey, plug the numbers in type thing. But don't actually guess at that point. Maybe by the end of the test, because they had you plug some numbers in, maybe a spark of, well, let me see what happens if I throw the numbers in. You could have gotten this one right. Don't immediately say, I don't know what the answer is. I'm going with A or C or whatever it is. Leave it blank. When they give you, I don't know, they're not going to give you like a 10-second warning that the test is over. They're going to give you, I don't know what the warning is. On CMAS, it's a 10-minute warning. I don't know what it is on PSAT, but it's going to be something like that. They're going to give you a warning. That's when all of a sudden you start going to ones that you can't answer and you put random answers. Now pick one letter, like I said. Don't pick random ones. Unless you can eliminate some answers on a specific one. Then you do have to put some, pick whatever you think ever works. Okay. All right, that's Connor's question.
Can we do number
12? On which one? 3 or 4?
3?
All right, let's look at number 12. From the look of it, does it look easy or hard? Does it look easy, medium, or hard?
It looks medium.
I'm just looking at the answers. The answers are those numbers. This is going to be an easy one, right? And if the answers were like this long, then I would say, okay, there's some complicated going on here. It doesn't look like it must be that complicated if those are the possible answers. It says you have a polynomial, p of x. It's right here. Remember, this just refers to y value. Remember, for functions, p of x is just a fancy name for y. P of x is defined above. K is a constant. That just means it's a number. If p of x is divisible, that means if your answer is divisible by x, what is the value of k? Well, guesses?
3.
It says, well, the key here is if p of x is divisible. Give me an example of divisible. Well, what it means to you. What does divisible mean?
It just means it can be divided by.
So give me an example.
4 divided by 2.
4 divided by 2, 10 divided by 2, 14 divided by 7. Those are divisible. So it's saying that your answer, when you throw numbers in, right, is divisible by x. Meaning if we threw in 1, let's put it easier. If we threw in 2 to this, our answer better be even, right? What is the value of k? You want to try it?
So if we plug those things.
If I had numbers, I would.
Well, it's saying k is this number, but it's not giving us what x is. It's only saying these are the values k. So here's a double whammy. Here's one that it looks like, looking at the answers, it must be easy. You start reading, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to do here, right? Skip this sucker. Absolutely positivity.
Okay, I read it and I was like, how do you do that?
Exactly. So this is one of those ones, give it a solid minute of reading before you determine like, okay, this might be the category of I'm not trying this one because I don't know what to do. We have time, I'll show you what to do.
Not gonna lie, this is the one I would just guess.
I'm just saying, when I look at the answers right here, I would think they would be a fairly easy questions, but maybe I don't want to try this one simply because it's a bit more challenging.
I would guess D.
Okay. We'll hold this one. All right, so we finally reached one that where we're like, okay, this might be above our level. I believe 12 is listed as hard. Well, I got to show you how to do it first. I believe this one's listed as a hard one. What number 12? PSAT 10. This is non-calculator. Number 12. Hard question. All right. No, you're wrong. All right, who are we on? Cadence, pick one.
We just did that.
Give me section 3 or 4.
Seventeen.
17.
What is it?
All right. It gives us one factor. We know that it's quadratic, so if it is factorable, well, it's going to be two factors, right? Now, they could exactly be the same thing. So, for instance, potentially x minus 2, x minus 2, right? Maybe, right? But more likely x minus 2 and something else. Those would be the two factors. I already know one of them, x minus 2. Okay. 100%, this value right here is 1, so I know there's an x. I know there's an x right there. What I don't know is that number there. I'll call it, I don't know, z or something like that. But I do know this, that if I call that z, that guess what, and this is plus or minus, 2 times z has to be, 2 times z has to be b. It has to be b, right? Because remember, these two multiplied together is where you get the b from, okay? This is, notice there's no A, B, C, D. Remember, I looked over at least the 9th grade answer sheet, and there was like maybe 5 questions that were blank, okay? So what's the value of b? Well, from this, all I can tell right here is that you said that -2 times the value z is actually equal to b.
Wait, this is blank.
Agreed. So this is one of those fill in the blank ones. Okay.
Stop making this.
It just says x minus 2 is a factor. Another thing we can do, if it is a factor, that literally means that this value right here, right, set equal to 0. Whoops, sorry. X minus 2 equal to 0. That means one of the values that makes it true is 2. I mean, I can throw that right into there, and let's see what we get. Let's throw 2 in for x. What do we get? We get 4 minus 2b plus b is equal to 0. We can solve that sucker right there.
2b or not 2b.
Okay. So let's see. Minus 2b plus b. Therefore, b is equal to?
4.
Done. Medium. Medium. This one's a medium one.
I say 2b or negative 2b.
There's not a plus or minus one of the answers. So b is equal to 4. That one's not too bad.
I don't like quadratics.
So you'll be spending a lot of time with quadratics and higher next year. All right. That one wasn't too bad.
Honestly, imagine if Shakespeare.
So that's done. Number 17.
I would my goal.
Yep. 4. All right. Next. What do we got, Matt? Pick a question.
Number 11 of 3.
You're just making up numbers. How do you know we haven't already done that one? You're supposed to look at. We have not done this one.
I don't have the packet, so I can't.
All right. What do you think?
Um,
Think this one's going to be easy, medium, hard, what?
probably right.
It says, which of the following is equivalent? I would say this one's on the easy. They consider this medium. Equivalent just means which one is the same. Does it say plural or singular? Does it say plural or singular? Where do you see singular? It could be plural, right? Which of the following, right?
Which one of?
Now, if it said which one, singular, right? But it says which of the following, so maybe.
Why couldn't I say choose 2 of the following?
Well, I don't even know if 2 are the same answers, but I do know it's a possibility. So the question is, can you turn this into A? Well, how about we just do some multiplication and see what happens?
Copy that flip.
Well, not copy dot flip, it's multiplication. So let's just multiply. What do we get? S squared minus ST all over T. You see where I'm getting at?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Does that match anyone over here? Okay, so there's some more stuff going on. Literally, this doesn't match a single one here. It is a fraction, so we could break it up into, notice these are all broken up into 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We could break this up into 2 fractions.
Oh, wait, is it Ian?
Well, let's just see. So what are the 2 fractions this breaks up into?
What did you cancel out?
S squared over T minus ST.
Over T. The T's would cancel and you'd be left with, does that match any? No? What do you
Yes.
mean no?
Yes, yes,
C.
C.
Okay.
But could it
Oh, I thought they
be,
were saying no to me. I was like, wait.
could it be 3, 1, 2?
Well, we lost the square on that. So it's, this one's just C.
But it's kind of like.
Could we break it up into this? Well, this part is matched, but that part definitely doesn't match. Yeah, it's just C. Okay, maybe medium. Hopefully you remember that split up fraction part. All right. Danny, pick one. Calculator or non-calculator, doesn't matter.
Maybe 3 and 4.
Say again? Just pick one. Pick one.
28.
On the what? Calculator, non-calculator? 28. Whoo, he picked a nice friendly one. You better get this one. All of you.
That's 26.
Oh, sorry. You better get 26 quickly. What's the answer to 26?
10.
What gives you the fraction b over a? What gives you b over a? It would be opposite over adjacent. You got to be careful. Which one, though? Is it tan A or tan B to give you b over a? It would be tan B. It would be tan B. Because remember, tan B, opposite would be B, adjacent would be A. So that would give you B over A. All right. They don't consider 26 an easy one. That's ridiculously easy. Guess what? There's not a single kid in Algebra 1 that will get that one right in the other class. Right? Say again? Oh. Danny, which one am I doing? 28. All right, we have not done this. This is literally the last chapter of the book. This is literally the last chapter of the book. All right. We have done in previous classes, let me help. We have done system of equations, right? The answer to a system of equations is what? What's the answer?
The intersection.
It's where they intersect, right? Guess what the difference here is?
They intersect in 3
We got a line
And a parabola.
and a parabola. Grab your calculators.
Oh, good.
This one's not solved with a calculator, but grab your calculators.
You can use your calculator.
No, not on this one, but I'm just showing you. Type this into your graphing calculator. I'm making this part up. Try for the y equals, try x squared minus 4, right?
But this is the calculator.
I know it is, but I already know how to do this one. Okay. I just want to show you that not this one, but in general, this is what it looks like. And the second equation I want you to write is y is equal to, I don't know, 2x.
Stop, darn you.
2x minus 4. There we go. So the first one is x squared minus 4. And the second one is 2x minus 4. Hit the graph button. We're going to get a smiley face on this one, not a frowny face.
Oh, got it.
But you will get, type it in. Y equals.
Mine just
So
went
x
into a
squared.
different plane of existence. Like, there's no lines.
Weird.
X equals 0, y equals -3.87,
See what I mean?
0.
So Caden's already got this figured out. Remember, we enter in x with this one. Now squared.
X is 1
Minus 4. That's your first one. Enter. Second one is 2x minus 4. Caden's already figured this out. What do you notice when you graphed it? You get a parabola and you get a line.
There's a smiley face.
Guess what? They don't intersect at one point. Now, you can get parabolas and lines that don't intersect at all. I mean, these two don't intersect. It turns out you can get one that's tangent. That happens very rarely. So 1 point, or you can get 2 points that they intersect. Okay. It's done exactly the same way on your calculator as you did it last year. You basically hit calculate if you want to find the answer. Second, calculate. Second, calculate. Intersection, number 5. And then hit enter a bunch of times until it gives you your answer. You hit it 3 times. You hit it too many times. And it'll tell you where the 2 intersection points are at. It'll tell you the first one and then the second one. You have to do it twice. First curve, second curve, guess, enter. So the first intersection point is 0, -4, and then you do it one more time to find for the second one. Okay, so your calculator could do it. This one doesn't tell you what the equations are, though. I just wanted to show you that. We will do that. Wait, this is geometry class. We're not going to do it at all. You're going to do it next year in Algebra 2. Okay? I keep forgetting what class I'm in. All right, let's see what we got going on. It says in an XY plane shown above, one of the 2 points of intersection of the graphs of a linear function and quadratic function is right here, VW. There's my one intersection point. If the vertex of the graph, the quadratic function is 419, what is the value of V? You guys don't have a chance of getting this one right. All right.
Sure, I can get it right.
By the way, is this an A, B, C, or D question or a fill in the blank question? All right, so you don't have a chance of getting this one.
Yes, I do.
We could just guess right or
I would.
V equals
4.
6.
It's trying to ask where is the other point of intersection? Clearly it's down here somewhere, right?
number.
Negative
So
9.
we negative.
So it's definitely negative.
4 or 5.
If it's claiming, remember it said draw to scale unless otherwise, this is a pure guess, right? But if that's 2, then that's probably 1 maybe, or 2. This one you're not going to get. Next year, when you learn about the vertex function, algebra 2, you'll get this question. This is not a geometry or algebra 1 question. This is an algebra 2 question.
Wait, I figured out how we do it.
Well, you don't know where it is. It's right here.
Take the little thing you use when you were creating the circles and everything. The compasses you can
Yeah, but I'm saying if it's a decimal number, unless it's a whole number, I mean, I can make a pretty good guess for whole number. That's negative 9. Looks like it intersects right here. So my guess would be negative 13. So maybe negative 2, negative 13 might be a good guess. You know, if it was a multiple choice, maybe I might get a chance of getting this one if I didn't know what to do. The key here is they give you the vertex, they give you the y-intercept right there, and the 2 y-intercepts for both the linear and the quadratic. You can get to this answer, but not with your current knowledge. So this is definitely one of the ones that I would read it just in case, but you're not getting that one. All right, Danny found a good one that we don't know how to do. All right, you had another one, Danny?
No.
What do you got, Chris?
Flavors.
Pick one. 30 and 31 say use these 2 formulas. You guys have done enough science. What does that 0 mean?
6.
What does the 0 mean in
Oxygen.
You've done this in science. We don't do this much in math.
Yeah, we haven't.
We haven't done
What does the 0 mean?
that.
Which science is this?
This is physics.
We've done.
No. This is 8th grade physics right here. Okay. Yeah, all I'm asking is what does the 0 mean? You don't have to have taken any physics to do this, by the way.
Zero means 0.
Doesn't mean 0.
Okay, that means.
Cadence is the only one that's even got a remote clue on this. What does it mean? So what does that mean? What does subscript mean?
Velocity
The
over
number.
the amount of.
What does subscript? Everybody look at the board. Do you see the 0 is below to the right of the variable? What does that mean? Does it mean anything is equal to 0? What does it mean? Whenever you use subscript, what are you doing mathematically? You're doing nothing mathematically. It's not a mathematical concept. It's the name of the variable. No. V sub 0, right? In science, anything that is not to the 0 power, that's 1. If the subscript is 0, they're saying this is where, typically this is time. This is where the time begins. For your experiment, where do you begin your experiment? At time 0. So V stands for, take a guess. So the velocity at time 0. So this V sub 0, you should have done this in, when did you take physics? 8th or 7th grade?
Never.
You should have done this formula.
Never.
This is the formula for speed and time. This is the formula for position. Where are you at a specific time? And this is the one for position and speed. All right. This actually is a pretty simple one. It just looks complicated. You're coming to school on Monday. Bring your calculators. We'll spend some time with the calculators on Monday so we can brush up on that. Regular day.
The guy that does the audiobook though, he's so
Hey,
long
Matt,
on
make
that.
sure you bring your packet.
I have no idea where it is.
Hey, I'm not responsible for you winning or losing your packet. You have to find it. Find your packet.
Why? Why did Coleman's so cool? She's actually sticking to the actual curriculum.
Well, who's not?
Miss Nicholas. She's doing like 7th grade grammar stuff.
Maybe because some of you need 7th grade grammar.
We don't need 7th grade literature.
She's not doing 7th grade literature.
7th grade grammar.
Some of you do. I've read your papers.
But we don't even write that many papers. We're supposed to be doing English literature.
Go to the next class.
8th grade grammar. Weird.
They did such a bad job on judging those.
What place were you in?
Not in top 40.
Not even in top 40?
Wait, you're not?
And the build sucks. Some of them that they put in top 40 just.
I love how you said you got second place. And you were like talking crap about all these kids.
And he's like, yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm totally gonna win this, guys.
He's like, yeah. And now
I'm like, I bet I could build one.
Are you upset?
No, I'm trying to read something.
Let him be.
Just sad.
Let him be.
Yeah, Nate. Pete. He gave it to me. He could have gave me a Spider-Man.
I knew.
Amber's calling her mom and she'll be
I need to get top 40. There was 3,000 submissions.
I bet it wasn't even real.
It was
How do you know that?
because there was a stream about it.
That makes it real, right?
No, a WWE person.
Something you can't have.
No.
I didn't even get top 40. Oh, is that stuff on the game?
Oh wait, no, I need to. I'm still on my way out.
I'll send you the link.
Oh yeah, Grayson gets back today.
It's just like, hey, tell me all of these, and that's it.
She has a shirt.
How do you do
Priscilla doesn't care. She's like, yeah, I really don't.